Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyi Agumofwegbe. The presidency has insisted that the 250,000 naira minimum wage clamor by organized labor is unsustainable, warning that the federal government cannot channel all its resources to meet such a demand. The warning comes 2 days after the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria raised concerns over the 62,000 naira being proposed by the federal government. The Association of Local Government of Nigeria had said if approved, the wage may put a strain on the council's financial burden. Following the expiration of the tenure of local government chairman in Rivers State, some youths in Degama local government area of the state have taken over the council headquarters. This came as local government chairman in the state under the aegis of the Association of Local Government of Nigeria vowed to remain in office, citing the Local Government Amendment Law by the Martin Amewule-led 27 House of Assembly members, empowering them to extend their tenure by 6 months. The association state chapter chairman, Olweli Hunda, who is the chairman of Port Harcourt City local government area, insisted that the law by the House of Assembly empowers them to remain in office. The federal government has dismissed information that the Abuja-Murtala Mohammed Expressway had been renamed Wole Soyinka Way. The government, in a statement signed by the media aide to the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Rabiu Ibrahim, clarified that the renaming of the expressway was never considered by the current administration. The confusion stems from a recent event on June 4, 2024, when President Bola Tinubu inaugurated a new road in the Federal Capital Territory. In the meantime, the federal government has announced plans to begin an assessment of the ongoing cleanup of oil-polluted sites in Ogoniland in Rivers State to ascertain how it impacts the lives and livelihood of the people. The Senior Special Assistant on Community Engagement to President Bola Tinubu South-South, Gift John Bull, disclosed this during a one-day Ogoni cleanup stakeholders roundtable meeting in Bori, headquarters of Kana local government area of Rivers State. The government promised that it would give proper attention to addressing the challenges and bottlenecks affecting the development of the oil and gas-rich area. The Christian Council of Nigeria has raised the alarm over the high rate of children living with the human immunodeficiency virus, also called HIV, in Nigeria, saying of the estimated 160,000 children living with the virus in the country, only 45,000 are receiving treatment. The council made the call at a closeout ceremony of the HIV intervention program implemented in collaboration with the World Council of Churches in Abuja. The council urged government and other stakeholders to intensify efforts to combat the spread of HIV/AIDS among children in the country. Following the outbreak of cholera in Lagos, the state government has activated its Public Health Emergency Operations Center at Mainland Hospital, Yaba. The statement noted that the State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, disclosed this while speaking on steps taken to control the outbreak in the state. This is as the United Nations Children's Fund urged the Lagos State government to urgently provide high-standard water and sanitation facilities to communities in order to curb the disease. According to a statement on the government's website, Public Health Emergency Operations Center was convened to address the increasing number of severe gastroenteritis cases across multiple local government areas in the states. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency says that it has destroyed more than 10 million kilograms of cannabis, also called marijuana, cultivated on more than 4 hectares of farmland in Edo State. The agency spokesman Femi Babafemi in Abuja said that the farm was located at Ohen Forest in Ovia, northeast local government area of the state. Babafemi said that the operatives of the agency who raided the forest on June 12 arrested 4 suspects. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has threatened to wield the big stick against airlines flying into restricted areas in the country. The authority said this after it received a letter from the Office of the National Security Advisor reporting a sighting of an unknown aircraft flying over the presidential villa. As a result, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority warned airlines operators in Nigeria through a letter reminding them that no person must operate an aircraft in a prohibited area or in a restricted area, the particulars of which have been duly published except in accordance with the condition of the restriction or by permission of the state over whose territory the areas are established. The National Association of Nigerian Students has appealed to the federal government not to revert its earlier ban on certificates obtained from universities in Togo and Benin Republic. In a statement signed by its national state clerk, Abdul Yakin Odunayo, in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, the student body warned against yielding to unnecessary pressure over what it referred to as long overdue policy, saying any action to the contrary will only spell doom for the nation and jeopardize its stand on qualitative education for its citizens. The All Africa Students Union has underscored the imperative of ensuring investment in education on the African continent. The association stated this in a press briefing to commemorate 2024 Africa Students Day in Abuja. Sharon Ajay has details for us.
President of All African Students Union, Osisiogu Osikeyin, emphasized the critical role of education financing in ensuring that every child in Africa has access to inclusive, accessible, and relevant learning opportunities.
We are confident that alternate solutions at the level of innovative financing tools could be found and implemented on the continent, particularly through private sector, public-private partnership, who could also contribute in financing education by investing majority of their corporate social responsibility, CSR, spending on education-related ventures.
He further warned that the learning crisis on the continent orchestrated by political instability will become a critical obstacle to development if investment and security in education are not enhanced, adding that expanding funding for education, both domestically and from external sources, is a key pathway to addressing this challenge.
We wish to call on all countries in Africa to endorse and respect the Self-School Declaration, currently supported by over 108 countries, to take concrete steps to better protect students, teachers, and schools and universities from attack during conflicts, including by refraining from using schools for concentration camps and military purposes.
He commended the union's grand patron, Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakilome, for his passion and contribution to education revolution in the region.
We wish to thank our man of God, our grand patron, Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakilome, DSC, for his passion for education and his dauntless stance on matters concerning Africa and her contemporary development. May God continue to increase him and his ministry.
The African Student Day has been celebrated on June 16th every year since 1991 as a significant occasion to reaffirm the continent's collective commitment to the well-being and educational rights of students across Africa. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
The Christian Council of Nigeria has raised the alarm over the higher rate. Let's turn to other stories for you quickly now. You're watching News Cycle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on our social media platforms using that Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. When News Cycle returns, the presidency says Nigeria spent $1.5 billion monthly to defend the Naira before Tinubu's foreign exchange reforms. These and other stories will come your way right after this break. We urge you to stay with us.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
Get a shot in.
This is Global Television, bringing you live broadcast of News Cycle with Thuyi Agumofwegbe. Thank you for staying with us. Let's take you to the foreign scene, where Senegal has officially joined the list of oil-producing countries in West Africa, marking a significant milestone in the country's economic history. Last week, the country began producing oil for the first time with the Sangoma Deepwater project, aiming to produce 100,000 barrels of oil per day. President Bassirou Diomaye Faye assured the nation that profits from the sale of the country's oil and gas would be well managed. France began a frantically short election campaign today, with President Emmanuel Macron's centrist alliance facing an uphill struggle to avoid a new defeat at the hands of the far right. Macron called the snapped parliamentary polls 3 years early in a dramatic gamble to shake up politics in France after the far right trounced his centrist in European Union elections. However, with less than a fortnight before the votes, his alliance risks being squeezed by new coalitions on the left and right. Many in France remain baffled over why Macron called an election just weeks before the country hosts the Olympics, risking the far-right national rally leading the government and 28-year-old Jordan Bardella becoming prime minister. Some parts of Ghana and other West African countries are currently experiencing blackouts due to a lingering disruption in gas supply from Nigeria. According to findings, there have been blackouts in several cities in Ghana, Republic of Benin, and Togo following the development. The West African Gas Pipeline Company Limited in Accra, Ghana, had last week announced it was experiencing a drop in gas volumes available for transportation. In a statement, West African Pipeline Company says one of its gas producers in Nigeria was carrying out some maintenance works. As a result, the gas producer was said to have shut its facility for a 3-week maintenance work. A Kenyan magistrate who was shot by a senior police officer earlier this week has died, according to the country's Chief Justice. Makadara Principal Magistrate Monica Kivuti was shot by a policeman at a court in the capital, Nairobi, after she had cancelled his wife's bail because the woman had absconded. Following the attack, the policeman, identified as Samson Kipichila Kipruto, was shot dead by other officers. According to Tuko, the magistrate had revoked Kipruto's wife, Jennifer Wurimu's bond, who had been charged with obtaining 2.9 million shillings illegally for failing to appear in court. The African Union has condemned massacres in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo that killed 150 people this month. African Union Commission Chief Musa Faki Mohammed says he had learned with dismay of the increasing massacres of innocent civilians by the Allied Democratic Forces ADF in Beni and Lubero in North Kivu province. Mohammed encouraged Congolese authorities, in collaboration with the countries of the region, to intensify their efforts to curb the spread of the terrorist threats in the Great Lakes region. Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah has stopped pilgrims from proceeding to the Jamarat Bridge for the ritual throwing stones from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. local time due to extreme heat. The Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah Dr. Abdul Fattah bin Suleiman issued the directive in a statement in Mina, Makkah, Saudi Arabia. Suleiman stated that the measures became necessary to ensure the well-being of pilgrims amidst high temperatures and prevent heat stress. In business, Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, says Nigeria was spending a sum of $1.5 billion monthly to peg foreign exchange before Tinubu's unification policy in June last year. Onanuga made this disclosure in a statement in response to a report published by the New York Times criticizing the Nigerian economy as facing the worst trajectory in a generation. Onanuga pointed out that Tinubu is not responsible for the economic challenges currently bedeviling the nation, stating that the country's public finance was broken prior to the emergence of the current administration. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, Nigeria Customs Service, and the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission have experienced a 131% increase in their cost of revenue collection for the first quarter of 2024. This analysis, based on the Federal Account Allocation Committee disbursement report published by the National Bureau of Statistics, shows that these agencies collectively received 214.29 billion naira in the first quarter of the current year, up from 92.85 billion naira in the same period the previous year. The Federal Inland Revenue Service and the Commission deducted about 4% of the cost of revenue collection, while the National Bureau of Statistics receives 7%. Dangote Sugar Refinery has announced the successful issuance of its 42.79 billion Naira Series 4 and 5 commercial papers, issued at 23% and 25% respectively. The papers were issued as part of the company's 150 billion Naira commercial paper issuance program. The Series 4 and 5 issuances comprised 12.93 billion naira for the 181-day Series 4 and 29.86 billion naira for the 265-day Series 5. According to the notice issued by the company, the CP issuance witnessed participation from pension and non-pension asset managers, as well as institutional and individual investors. Special Assistant to Kaduna State Governor on School Feeding, Dr. Fozia Buhari Ado, has said 4 billion naira is spent annually on school feeding in a bid to curb the growing number of out-of-school children in the state. Buhari Ado, who made the disclosure in Abuja, noted that over 25,000 students in 51 boarding schools across the 23 local government areas are beneficiaries of the program. Let's get you some excitement from sports now. Officials of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, have labored for several hours to fix a large pool of foreign and home-based athletes who turned up for the ongoing 2024 national trials holding in Benin City, Edo State. The Federation is using the trials to pick the country's representatives at both the African Senior Championships in Douala, Cameroon, and the Paris Olympics. The national trials, which started at the Samuel Ogbamudia Stadium in Benin City, has a record 11 male sprinters who have fast times in the 100-meter this season, vying for spots in the squads of the African Championships. Germany goalkeeper Manuel Neuer says he will make a call on his future after Euro 2024, the 2014 World Cup winners' 8th major tournament. The 38-year-old said he could not yet reveal whether this would be his last dance in Germany colors, noting that he will turn his mind to it after the tournament. Neuer returned to action for Bayern Munich in October after almost a year out of the game with a broken leg, during which he lost the Germany captaincy to Barcelona's AK Gundogan. And that's a full circle on the news, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Muyi Agumofogbe saying a very big thank you to you for watching. At the top of the hour, Michael Adikon will be here with Big Talk. I'll see you again.